The secret library is not just a hunting ground, it's also a questline with 4 normal bosses and 1 final boss. Here is how to do Ghulosh. For the second boss of this series, I will talk about Ghulosh, one of the 2 bosses located in the fire section on -1 by the Guardian of the Elves. This boss is the best one to farm, or at least it was, back when Fire Library was popular, as it was common to do this boss after finishing the hunt, because the boss is sadly easy to access when you're already at the Fire Library. But even if you're just coming for the boss, it's still easy to get in, but can be pretty hard to leave. When going down the stairs, make sure to use the walls to block the path to the south so you can run safer. At the end is where you will find the teleport to the boss. Most of the damage will be physical and is mostly done by the summons. However, the Knight and Paladin must have a helmet against drowning, because the boss has a beam that does around 3k damage. The mages can use one if they are moving in front of the boss for whatever reason, but that should only be necessary for extra safety. But first, let's talk about the mechanic of the boss, and then you will understand the need for the helmet. At the start, the boss will be on his normal form. EK take it to the middle, and shooters from the sides attack with SDs. After a while, he will turn into another form that looks like this, and won't be taking any damage, and during this phase is when he starts doing the drowning beam. At this point, the shooters should be on the north wall, and the paladin should be towards the middle. The purpose of the paladin is to tank the summons and attack them as well. If the shooters want to help, then use GFP towards him to kill the bonjals. While the RP deals with the summons, the EK should make the boss go to the east side, and with the use of walls, keep him standing still on an angle that he hits the beam on the Book of Death. That will make it much easier to kill the book. The mages can hit it as well, but make sure to stop attacking before the book dies, as it will turn into a concentrated death that looks like an ink blob. Now, ideally, you want to have one of the mages help with tanking the slime in the direction of the beam, because when the boss hits it with the beam, it will reflect damage back to him and make him go back to his normal form. You don't want to have the same person taking the bonjons taking the slime too, as it will make it harder to get him on position. If the mages don't have the helmet, then it's better to have the sorcerer tank the bonjons and the paladin be the one putting the slime in front of the boss. Keep in mind the damage from the slime is not a problem, and the damage from the summons is manageable as long as you don't let too many stack up on you. The only thing you need to be careful when doing this is the beam from the boss, which does no damage if you wear a drowning helmet. Also be aware that the other attacks from the boss and the blood tears he summons damages the concentrated death, so he can kill it without doing the drowning beam sometimes. When that happens, just wait for the book to respawn and try again. Once he hits the slime with the drowning beam, it will go to his normal form. Attack him with SDs and if possible, keeping the concentrated death alive. That will make it easier for the next time. This will happen 4 times, and on the 4th one it will need to hit the slime 6 times before switching forms, and after that it will be the last time. The use of energy bombs is important, because the concentrated death doesn't walk over them, so you want to have everyone on top of an energy bomb except the person that will be tanking it. That way the chances of it going straight for that person are higher, otherwise it will target randomly. Another tip is that together with the use of E-bombs and standing on top of where the book spawns, you can force it to spawn in a different square. This is something we did often, as we will force the book 1 square south and then it was easier to have the boss hit it there. Not a necessity, but it helps not having the boss that close to the mages. Also, as the EK, keep in mind the boss on his range form will retarget often, so you need to be ready to use the exit arrest to make him go back, but when doing this, do not ever be next to it or close enough that the boss can get trapped, because when the boss is fully trapped, then it will teleport to the middle, and it can easily get itself trapped with the constant summon of the lavas. Lastly, the 2 walls that matter are the closest to the boss, and the 3rd one is optional. Any more than that is unnecessary, and also make sure to be stacking both magic walls and 3 walls on top of each other, because if you don't, then when one falls down, the boss will move. That's all you need to know for this boss. This boss, just like all the bosses, drops in average 250 to 300k in normal drops, with the additional rare drops for special demon bones, and this one in particular has a chance of dropping an epaulet, which is needed for the add-on of the battle mage outfit. Each of these are worth more than 20k, making this boss a really good one to farm. With that said, that's all I got for this one. Make sure to check out the other videos of the series for the rest of the bosses. Thank you for watching, and if you want to support the channel, consider subscribing or supporting it directly with Tibia coins to Gudii donation. Thank you and see you again.